This is Decentering Church series. So to start off with, we're gonna say how churches uses women and abuse them. Hello, exotic Barbies. I'm feeling very controversial today. Let's get started. So we're gonna start off with first of all, a lot of these churches they will use desperate women. Meaning, so you already know how many churches disagree with women dressing modestly, right? So let's think about this. Remember in Girlfriends when Lynn had dated a pastor, right? That's stupid, disgusting rat of a pastor. And remember how when he took her to the church and how how the women over there they already have the belief that dressing modestly is ungodly, right? Lynn does not dress modestly. I'm using her as an example, one not to get to my point. And so, with that being said, they're confused because they're like, Pastor, you preach against this, but yet you're dating women like this. Yeah, that's what happens a lot of times in churches. The pastor, they won't do it right probably in front of your face, or if they don't care about you, they will, or care about anything. Let's be honest, they will do that. So you probably be like the pastor probably be preaching about like, oh, dressing like this is terrible, dressing like this is disgusting and whorish and whatnot. Yeah, you see them going to the club, you like, hey pastor, what are you doing at the club one night? They be like, oh, I had to send my message over there so they could get the word. Why he's bumping and grinding to someone that's not his wife. So yeah, that's one of the things they kind of like do, like this double standard, because forbid a woman to do that, because if a woman was to be like date a man that's like a drug dealer or whatnot, they would call her out. They'd be like, hey, don't do that one not. But yeah, when a guy goes to a strip club, said take care of his wife and children, you don't understand him. He needs to be delivered. The Lord will forgive him. They would try to preach about that to you. Another thing too, they will gaslight you, especially about relationships. So one thing they would do is that to top this all off, they will make you male centered. In fact, they would talk about you. They would talk about what a woman should do when not on the pulpit more than what a man should do. Okay, the only thing they probably tell a man to do is not cheat on his wife, and then they're gonna try to excuse it. For you, oh no, you had to cover up the lady bits. Those are for your husband. You have to cook and clean. How else you gonna feed your kids? You don't want kids? Why? Oh, because you went through trauma as a child one night, you don't want a kid? Oh, don't worry, the Lord will help you heal. Now go have a kid. I don't care about anything what you're saying about your issues you don't want to have a kid. You should have a kid. Get married young. Yeah, you went to college and whatnot, you have a degree and whatnot, but go get married and whatnot. Oh, by the way, you should go work and then go work in a house. Or if you're gonna stay at home wife, you need to clean the house. What are you doing in a house all day and whatnot? The house need to be clean. You should have the food ready for your husband, the clothes ready for your husband. Make sure you fix his favorite food. You see all these requirements that they have against women. It's actually pretty crazy. So they have all this, but yet when they talk about man, they be like, oh yeah, just provide for your family. Also, too, they don't give up the standards of, because they tend to believe. Now thinking about it, I just thought about this, that they would get mad at you if you don't want a guy because he have like some amount of money, good looking, charming, or nice, nice. And they'd be like, well, he's a good man and whatnot. Why are you not with him? Or that's an excuse to break up marriage. There is more reasons to why women divorce men than what we know, or separate from them, because in my religion we believe in separation, than what we know. One of them is emotional neglect. Okay? No emotional support. He's not even bothered talking to you. Okay? Not even helping you. Okay? Sexual neglect. Okay? Like, they will tell you all these things and whatnot, and then they subtract the fact that you have to be attracted to this man. They try to tell you to be attracted, but you need to be attracted to that man. You telling me you're gonna sleep right beside a roach for the rest of your life? And then you get off on that? No, absolutely not. Leave. Okay? They try to make you humble you with that mindset, okay? Also, too, what they do is to manipulate you is that to forgive him for what he does. For example, cheating. I already mentioned that. But they try to use scriptures and whatnot for his cheating, his needs. You know, men have needs. Okay, and then they forget all about your needs, by the way. They try all this stuff, and they will tell you all this stuff, but yet when they cares about you, they be like, oh, well, you know, the Lord will bless you. Okay, so you need to leave. Okay? Because it's like the gaslighting to where they be like, oh yeah, you'll be free, you know, eventually. And when I remember when I asked when, they told me when you're dead. Yeah, so don't don't do that, okay? Also, too, one of the things I noticed is that they try to make you take full responsibility for everything. So, meaning is that, like, let's say you're not, let's say your marriage and whatnot is kind of falling, you feel like it's falling apart and whatnot. They would tell you, be like, oh, you need to take him to therapy, or, you know, you guys need to fast and pray. They try to make, or like, let's say he cheats and whatnot. They'd be like, well, you probably should please him more often. You know, they try to tell you these type of things and whatnot. I never told you guys this, but I remember how it was so bad with how they manipulate women back in my old cult. Is that they try to convince women that, read between the lines, rape is sex. So yeah, it's very important to decenter your, like, if, let's say you are, and I'm not trying to like go against you being a Christian, because I'm a Christian as well. But one thing I will say is, though, is that decenter yourself from men. If you're ever going to be like the religion I am right now, Christian and whatnot, do it for your religious belief. Don't do it for a man. Because that's one thing I realized too as a child, is that they would convince you, like for example, I like to dress modestly. At that time, I nearly didn't. Whatnot, I kind of did when I went to whatnot. It depends, but now I do. But one thing I realized is that they'd be like, "Oh, you'd be such a good wife. Look at you dressing the way you do." Also, too, one things I noticed is that they would try to tell you that you're gonna be such a good wife, and it's just you washing dishes. Like, you see how messed up they have it. You see how messed up they have it, or let's say you don't want to get married. Okay, because I remember when I was younger, I was like, okay, well, this sucks. Because I remember how I seen couples argue and like fight, sometimes hand on hand, in churches and whatnot. I remember like, why are they doing this? Aren't they supposed to love each other? They're like, oh, that's marriage. I say, okay, well, I don't want to get married. I remember they hated me for saying that. In fact, they thought I was a lesbian. Yes, I never told you guys this. They would think you're a lesbian if you don't have a crush on a man or talking about a man. Okay? That's insane. Yes, that's what happened to my old cult. Also, too, one thing I realized is that another thing I realized is that what was I gonna say? They normalize limerence and lust for both men and women. To the point, remember how Gaston and Belle from Beauty and the Beast, how Gaston has so much lust towards Belle and whatnot, and how he was like, oh, you do my kids right. Imagine dealing with 30 of those guys. Okay, that is like that in the church. Okay? So, with that being said, this is a video to tell you decenter men in churches, or stay away from men in church. Just because you guys in the same, I always tell women this, just because you're in the same community, in the same place or same religion, does not mean you have to date that guy. Okay? It's nice for you guys to have something in common, but you don't have to date them. Okay? This is also to the video to tell women that how churches can abuse you guys. Can abuse like the system and whatnot. Anyways, tell me how you feel. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you seen it before? You know, like, comment, subscribe. Love you, Exotica Barbies.